Starting and running your own business is hard. There are so many things to think about, and it can be tough to know where to start or even what to do next. That's why I want to share the 4 lessons I've learned in my entrepreneurial journey with you today. So, number 1 is accept failure as the biggest learning and needed experience. Now, this one is a super hard one. Nobody wants to fail, but let's be honest, you have to fail to grow. And it doesn't even mean that you fell in a way that's really, really bad. It could just be things don't work out exactly the way that you want them to, and that can be considered a failure. But that is how you actually learn and grow as an entrepreneur, even as a person, but especially as an entrepreneur. There are so many times that I think, oh, this is how I want this to go, and this is what it's going to look like, and guess what? It doesn't. But what I learned along the journey of that is something that is pretty spectacular. I have been doing this for quite a few years now, and where I was in the beginning is kind of shocking and sad to look back and think of where I was to where I am now and how much I've learned. And I've learned all that from my failures. And at the time, they might even not have felt like a failure. For example, when I first started, I really had no clue what I was doing. I now talk to new up-and-coming entrepreneurs, content creators, and I hear what they're struggling with, and I totally get it because I was there as well. And the one that I'm thinking of that really has caused me a lot of pain in the amount of time I've had to go back and fix it is my search optimization, so SEO. I had no clue about that, none whatsoever. And so I completely failed in the aspect of gaining traffic through search engines because I had no clue about it. And so it's something that I had to learn along the way. And it has been rough. It has been a struggle. I have so many blog posts and articles on my content that are not optimized. No keywords are on them. I just wrote random stuff. But I had to have that experience of not having it and knowing what it's like to not have it and what a great benefit it is to actually have it and the importance of it. And so I will go out of my way to learn new things about SEO because I know how important it is now and the amount of traffic I get from it. That was something that I was like, oh, is it really needed? But once you experience something not working the way it should be, or you think you're doing something correctly and then you do another thing another different way, and you realize, oh wow, I really didn't know what I was doing. I actually failed at that. And it can even be that maybe you're launching something and it doesn't do as well as you want it to. And instead of being upset about it and throwing in the towel, you need to look at it as, okay, what can I learn from this experience? What can I go back and fix? For example, maybe it is, if it's a course launch, maybe it was your wording on it. Maybe it was something that maybe you didn't have the correct audience for that lead magnet that you wanted to do really well. And this is something that I am learning, and I think it's something that we all just have to continue learning, is that we have to accept failure as our biggest and needed experience in life and in the entrepreneurial journey. And I hope you guys can see the benefit of that. And I know it's so hard. It's not one of those things that we don't like to talk about, but it really is. It is one of the lessons I've learned that has helped me grow into where I'm at today. And so I hope you guys can learn that one as well. The number 2 is never stop creating. Now, it is tough. It is so tough being a content creator. And a lot people look at it and think, oh my gosh, that's so easy. You get to do that that's your job. That's so easy. But they don't realize, like we know, all the different steps, all the different things that have to go into making a piece of content. They just see the end result and think, oh, wow, that's easy. And I cannot tell you how many times it's crossed my mind, like, is this worth it? Is it really worth it? Should I stop? But something that I've learned is never stop creating, never stop evolving, never stop. And I almost did. And I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I almost stopped way back years ago. And I'm so glad that I didn't. And I'm glad that as I learn things, I start creating new things. And so don't think that you have to be stuck in one spot. You can start creating new things that you like. So never stop creating. That doesn't mean that it has to be the exact same thing that you're creating from this day and 5 years from now. It just means that never stop doing the things that you love. Never stop sharing the content that excites you. Never stop creating. And creating is why you probably started in the first place. You had a love for something and you wanted to create it. You wanted to share it with others. So never stop doing what you love. Never stop. I know it's really hard because once you start becoming an entrepreneur and this is a business, you have to make money. But guess what? Your audience will know. That's the crazy part. If you're not in it, they're not in it either. So never stop creating the things that you love and are drawn to. So that's number 2. Number 3 is learning must be continuous, but you must implement what you're learning. This is one that's, I've known it's always been important, but I feel like that I was just trying to consume as much as possible because maybe it was the next thing that would really let me take off. It was the next thing that I would learn, or this shiny object over here looks so pretty and they're telling me that I can do it in this amount of time. And then you get into it and you're like, oh my goodness, right? It's not about learning everything that you can consume. Learning is important and should be continually learning with being an entrepreneur, but you need to implement. And this is something that I have been striving for in the last little bit. I mean, our book club that we're just doing, we're reading Business Made Simple. And when we got into this book, I started reading it and it needs to be implemented. You start reading stuff and yeah, you can read through it, but are you actually taking the time to take what you're learning and applying it into your business? And that's something that I really want to encourage us all to do is, for example, this is what I'm going to be doing from here on out, is I'll read a book and this is going to make me be more selective with what I'm learning. So I'm going to read a book, I'm going to take a course, whatever it is, and I'm going to take the time and implement it. And so, for example, if I'm reading a book, I'm going to take the time to read the book and I'll take my notes and all that fun stuff. But then after I'm done, I'm going to go back through it and actually implement the strategies or whatever they're teaching into my business. I want to see the biggest benefit, the most, I can't think of the word right now, but I want to see the biggest growth in my business from reading this book. I took the time to read this, or I took the time or put in the money for something. Make sure that you're implementing it, getting the most out of that thing. So I just want to encourage you to learn continually, but make sure you are implementing what you are learning. Don't just keep jumping around to the next thing and the next thing. Stop, implement, then move on. You will see such a big change and your business will grow so much from this. I cannot tell you, once I started kind of doing this, I'm going to be doing it even more because just the little bit that I started doing, I started to see the changes. And it might not even be the changes of money, but maybe it's how you manage your time or how you get to spend more time with your family. I mean, we can talk about boundaries all day long, but these are things that I've been implementing this year because it's what I've been learning about. And I cannot tell you how awesome it is at the end of the day when I turn off my computer at 3:15 in the afternoon. I am done for the day. And there's times when I'm like, oh, I need to do this. And I sit there and I go, oh my gosh, that does not sound fun. I'm going to go hang out with my kids. So, and it took a while to change that, just so you know. But I really want to encourage you to continue learning, but make sure you are implementing. It is a huge game changer. Don't just keep learning and learning and learning and learning. Apply what you're learning. Now, number 4, this one is something that we all have. We all have dreams, but the thing that I have learned is that dreams evolve, and you should never stop believing in yourself. And the reason why I say dreams evolve, because I kind of consider a dream kind of a goal, right? But what happens when you hit that goal? Or what happens if you start thinking, well, that dream's not really what I want anymore. I want this. Or, oh my gosh, my business has pivoted to this other area. So now I need to evolve my dreams. And this is something that I feel like as entrepreneurs, we should be okay with and be able to do it really well. And some people might not be able to. But it's very important to evolve with your dreams and believe in yourself. And another thing that we could get into this with evolving is actually becoming your future self in that sense. So evolve into what you want to be. So if you want to be a 6-figure or more entrepreneur, what would you be doing in that moment, in that time, that you should apply now? And this is going back to that learning and applying and implementing. So you're learning what you're going to be like and you're going to apply it. So you're going to take that dream and evolve yourself now into that dream and never stop believing in yourself, because there are so many doubters out there. There are so many people that are having such a rough time, and the comments that you get are going to be, they're going to be rough. They're going to be rough. And people will question you. And sometimes you might even question yourself about, is it really worth it? And I just want to encourage you to be your biggest cheerleader. You are your biggest cheerleader. And so make sure that you push to those dreams, and it's okay if they evolve. It's fine. But these are the 4 lessons that I've learned in my entrepreneur journey. And I'm going to quickly recap them just so that you can kind of get a refresher. So number 1 was accepting failure as the biggest learning and needed experience. Number 2, never stop creating. Number 3, learning must be continuous, but you must implement the learning. And number 4, dreams evolve, so never stop believing in yourself. I would love to hear what lessons you have learned in your journey as an entrepreneur. And if you would love to share this with me, please DM me on Instagram, or you can email me, but you can find me on Instagram at TFF Entrepreneur, and just send me a message. Let me know, or maybe one of these 4 items is what you needed to hear, and I would love to hear about that. So don't be shy and reach out to me, and I will see you next time.